So the Zeiss Otus lenses are legends in the photographic industry. I first encountered them in the DSLR days, and although they were humongous, heavy, and expensive, they were optically brilliant lenses. But then come 2019, and the last lens they make is the Zeiss Otus 100 millimeters, and then we see nothing for years and years and years. But that is all about to change, because look at what I got in my hands here. I have the new Zeiss Otus ML for mirrorless 50 millimeter f1.4, and I'm very excited. I'm Chris Niccolls. This is PetaPixel. Let's see if the legend has been reborn.
Let's go.
All right, I know what you're thinking. You want lenses that are corrected in the lens, not with some digital trickery afterwards. What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna find these elusive beasts? KEH.com is where you're gonna find them. I looked yesterday, they have a Zeiss Otus 55 millimeter f1.4, and it could be yours today. It's so easy to find elusive and interesting products on KEH.com. They have a fantastic search engine on there. You can see all the options they have available, the price points for all those, and what condition they're in. And if you want to get rid of some glass, maybe you don't want any of your modern lenses anymore, it's time to go manual focus everything, because that's what the cool kids are doing. Then you can also sell all of your gear on there. Their experts are going to give you fair pricing. They're going to give you online quotes so you know what to expect. And then when you do accept those quotes, you can get 10% trade-in bonus to get any products in KEH.com, or they'll send you a check, or just something super easy like go right into a PayPal account for you. It could not be simpler to go back into the dark ages of optical performance. So go to KEH.com today and get yours now before they're gone. I'm standing in the middle of a hockey rink, which I know is a quintessentially Canadian thing to do in the wintertime. It's giving me nice fill on all the shadows under my face, but it's also very bright. So I'm gonna be squintastic for this talk here. So this new Zeiss Otus 50 millimeter is also being joined by an 85 millimeter 1.4 very shortly, and you can get these in Sony E mount, Canon RF mount, which I'm using today, and also Nikon Z mounts. This is very cool. Now, these lenses are quite a bit smaller than I remember with the original Otus, lending to the fact that it's a mirrorless design. On this 50mm 1.4, we are down to 677 grams, so it's got a nice feel to it. It's got a little bit of weight, but it's not ungainly to carry around here. 67 millimeter filter thread here in the front, beautiful metal hood. And this lens, unlike the original Otus 55 millimeter 1.4, is fully weather sealed. So we got a nice rubber mount around here, sealed nicely. The manual focus ring turns with just the perfect amount of resistance. We've got distance scale on here, depth of field gauge as well. We've got a really nice aperture ring that's got click stops all the way through from f1.4 to f16. Now, it's a good thing that this manual focus ring turns smoothly, because this is indeed just a manual focus lens. There's no autofocus capabilities here. However, these do give full electrical communication from the lens to the body. So we're still getting focal length and aperture in the EXIF data, and it works with manual focus assist tools like here on the Canon, where I can punch in and zoom. And so that's really handy to have. I mean, the manual focus capability, that's intentional. It's supposed to slow you down, make you think a little bit more about your compositions. And so in that regard, it's designed beautifully. So although this is manual focus lens and I can punch in to focus, Canon have by far the best manual focusing assistance aid, where I just get this green box and I get these little arrows, and as I move the focus, I can see these arrows move apart and move closer together, and it's just very intuitive and very accurate. So I'm using that a lot today. So Jordan has this obsession. It is an obsession. It's an unhealthy obsession with either taking photos or getting me, more importantly, to take photos of any disgusting transient clothing, any island of misfit clothing that I seem to come across. I don't know what it is. Maybe he grew up with a lot of hand-me-downs or something. I don't know, but so did I, and I don't have the same obsession. But anyways, it does give me a good chance to test the close-up capability here. I'm getting just under half a meter from the sensor to the subject, and so we're still getting plenty of working distance, but I wouldn't call this a macro lens by any stretch. I mean, here I'm getting, let's call it one to glove life-size reproduction. All right, that's basically filling the frame, but that's to be expected. Normal 50 millimeter lenses that are fast like this generally aren't great for macro. So as freezing cold as it is, we have got a beautiful sunny day. Isn't that nice? Let's test flare, why not? Now, Zeiss use world famous T-star coatings, all right? And as you can see here, flare is very well controlled. Shooting wide open at 1.4, beautiful contrast. We're not getting any washed out areas. Even stopping down to f16, ghosting is incredibly minor. I'm seeing almost none of it. So these are great results. You can shoot this Zeiss all towards the sun all you want. What about sun stars? Well, unfortunately, those suck, as you can see here. I mean, look, a 50mm 1.4 lens is not the kind of lens we really look for sun stars, so I'm not concerned, but they're just nondescript, they're not very exciting, so okay, don't worry about that. I mean, when life gives you Sunstar lemons, I guess you just make Sunstar lemonade.
T-star lemonade.
T-star lemonade, that's cute. Whoa! So Jordan's freezing, as you can see, I know, but he's gonna be our model here as usual, and we're gonna make him look all tough. He's gonna be really cool. So we've got a really bright day today, bright backdrop, and I wanna drop that down a little bit. So even though this Westcott FJ200 is giving us 200 watts of power, I've got it cranked and it still has plenty to go through a 4-stop ND on here. That's gonna bring the ambient exposure down a little bit. I'm shooting around just under f4. Jordan's gonna be lit up beautifully. The background's gonna be a little bit more dramatic. And here, let's, you're okay, you're gonna be okay, all right? Yeah, look majestic. I guess that's what that is. And yet, it still looks really good because having a flash like this, being able to provide that backlight, even with the sun as our main here, this is a really handy piece of kit going through this nice little compact rapid box S softbox. If you want to pick up one of these yourself, just go to fjwestcott.com and you can look at all the stuff, or simply click in the link in the description below. Okay, so one of the reasons why the Zeiss 50mm is so expensive is because it's an apochromatic lens. It's been corrected for chromatic aberrations. And when you take a look at things like tree branches against a blue sky or something like that, you would often see color fringing, and that's actually very well taken care of. So that's good. However, I also want to look at LOCA, longitudinal chromatic aberrations, and unfortunately there I'm seeing quite a bit. This is where you get the colors and the foreground and background out of focus areas, and you can see here actually quite distinct magenta and green tones splitting across the plane of focus, and unfortunately this is really hard to get rid of. I gotta admit, I didn't expect to see it on a lens like this that's so well corrected, but there's actually more than I see on most modern lenses. So this is a premium lens. I'm expecting to get premium bokeh results, and actually I'm not disappointed whatsoever. Bokeh is actually very beautiful on this lens. You can see here at 1.4 we get this nice cat's eye in the corners, really beautiful, prominent. I like it. Even stop down, everything's nice and clean. We're not getting any soap bubble effects, no onion rings. A little bit of a polygonal look to the aperture blades. You know, Zeiss is going for not like that perfectly round sort of specular highlight, but it's fine. It's not bad. It gives a little bit of character. So overall, I think the bokeh on this lens is beautifully done. I want to play foosball, but it's all frozen. Even with, there's still frost over. Forget it. Okay, so let's talk about, I don't know, video instead. So we do have this beautiful manual focus ring. I mean, that's one check mark for good video capabilities. What about the aperture ring? Well, you can set it to smooth functionality, no click, but you actually have to go and just take the lens off, use a little screwdriver and flip a little switch in the back on the lens mount. Not very convenient in the field, but fine if you're gonna dedicate this lens more to video. But unfortunately, we've got two issues that I kind of have with this lens. First off, it breathes. As you focus from near to far and back again, you actually notice the field of view changes quite a bit, and that's not really nice for focus pulls. The other problem I'm finding is, although the manual focus ring is smooth, it's a very long throw, and so this means that on the street when I'm shooting stills, although it's precise, I got to turn it a long way to get nice focus. And in video, I mean, it's great, except you got to use a follow focus unit. There's just no way you can turn your hand smoothly all the way to do a long focus pull, so that requires extra gear. So I don't know, as a video lens, I thought I'd have more promise. It's not that great. All right, let's talk about sharpness on this Otus lens. So first off, looking at the test charts at 1.4 right in the center, we have decent detail, but like there's a general loss of contrast. It's not super sharp or crisp looking. Certainly by f2.8, it all sharpens up really nicely. Tons of contrast, tons of detail, really good. Also in the corner, shooting 1.4, a little bit of softness again, a little bit of lack of contrast. Stopping down helps that quite a bit. And we're not getting that yucky blur that you would normally get from heavy distortion correction, so that's a positive considering how well this lens is corrected for. But sharpness wide open at 1.4 could be better. So the Zeiss Otus 50mm 1.4, specifically for mirrorless, it's a lens with a lot of character. It's very well corrected. It's beautifully made. But who is it really for? I mean, you got to think back. The original Otus 55mm I've had quite a bit of experience with, and that was the first lens where I was like, wow, this is something special. This is optically superior to pretty much anything else that's been made in the market. But now coming to 2025 and looking at it, while the Zeiss is still a fantastic lens, I feel like everybody else has caught up. I mean, you get fantastic glass from the OEM manufacturers, you get fantastic glass from Sigma and Tokina, and fast lenses are actually really good nowadays. I think it also has to be appreciated like this. A lot of people out there are looking for glass that is well corrected, apochromatic, minimal distortion, and that's what this lens does for you. You know, nowadays with modern lenses, it seems like what we're doing is allowing for things like distortion to occur, chromatic aberration to occur, because that can all be corrected via profiles after the fact in post, or, you know, through the camera when it comes to JPEG rendering. And that does allow manufacturers to really enhance the sharpness, especially wide open. Maybe that's where the Zeiss Otus is having a little bit of difficulty. Regardless though, if you want a departure from modern glass that's using all that digital trickery to fix things, then this is the glass for you. I'm very excited to see Zeiss back on the market, and I absolutely want to play with the 85mm 1.4 when I get my hands on that. That would be great. I mean, these lenses do have a beautiful heritage to them, and they are really fantastic optically in very interesting ways. Will they compete against other lenses in the market? I mean, time will tell. These are no doubt very expensive, prestigious lenses, and you are going to pay for it. And so I think it's going to be a select group of people that are really going to get a lot of joy out of these lenses. And hopefully this video helps you guys decide if you're part of that select group or not. Do leave your comments below and let us know what you think. And do check out the PetaPixel podcast, where we talk about products like this and so many other trends and interesting news on the market. Just go to all your favorite podcasting apps and search for PetaPixel Podcast, or watch it on this exact same channel. As well, if you haven't had a chance already, look at getting yourself a PetaPixel.com membership. This is $3 a month, $30 a year. You can enjoy PetaPixel ads free on the website, and as well, we've got lots of cool bonuses, discounts in the merch store, and also sample galleries that you can play with so you can see for yourself if the results are good for you. Otherwise, we always appreciate you guys joining us. We'll see you soon with more on PetaPixel.